It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light today, little flockulators. What is the relationship like between the husband and the wife in your house? What is their relationship like? Is it a happy home? Or is it a contentious household? Is it orderly? Or is it disorderly? Is it healthy or is it unhealthy? Is it toxic? What we see with our eyes and what we experience with our flesh are signs. You have to understand that. You must know that principle of life. That what you experience with your 3D vessel is a sign. It is an outward show. This is all associated with the carnal mind, the left-hand side. You see that? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. So something that the 3D senses will use to judge a thing is a wicked and adulterous person, a perverted person, looking for a sign, a physical representation that represents something else. That's what a sign is. When you pull up to the street, there's going to be a sign there. The sign itself is not the street. The sign is just telling you which street that is. It's telling you about the street. You see it? It's just like Abba said, if you don't keep my commandments, when you read Deuteronomy 28, he says, if you don't keep my commandments, then these curses shall come upon thee, right? A curse shall come upon thee if you don't keep my commandments. You shall be cursed in the city, cursed in the field. You see that there, little flock? And why is it? Because you're not keeping his commandments. You're not living the way in which he told you you should live. And which way is that? Well, you have to go back to the beginning. You are a tender keeper. So the man of the house that I'm asking you about, when I'm talking about this relationship between the family members, the husband and the wife, how are they in your house? The man in your house is designed or made to be a tender keeper, to tend to the garden and to keep it. You understand that? That's his work or his job that he was given before he was given a wife. So now what are the signs that link up to this so that we can understand it with our 3D senses? You see, that's what a sign represents. And they're everywhere around you, but they're just signs. So they're not the end all. When people think they understand the sign, then they think they understand the end all of what Abba's showing them, but they're not. They're blinded to the truth that the sign is showing them. They're blind to the street. They only see the sign, but they don't even understand the street. They can't see the street. You understand what I'm saying to you? So then they don't know where they're going. Still, they don't know. You hear me? Well, so it is with this. Once you have exited the spiritual mind of life and peace, you have now entered the realm of death. You see it? So that man in your house, once he leaves the Garden of Eden, he is cast out. Can't you hear it, little flock? He is cast out into the earth, which represents flesh, which represents 3D under the sun. So you're cast out into the physical realm of outward appearance. That is the world that Yahushua said, I am not of. Isn't it obviously? Isn't it obviously making sense when you understand that that's where the man was cast out from? So his original home is not physical. It's not 3D. It's spiritual. So when I come to bring you back, what do you think I come to bring you back to? Your home that you were cast out of, the spiritual mind of life and peace. That's why you no longer have life and peace. So when the man leaves his home and goes out into the world, he focuses on his work, and he focuses so much on it that he neglects his wife at home. This is very common. It could be 30 years. The woman files for divorce, and you're like, well, what the heck was going on? You guys seem to be so happy. She's like, it's neglect. I don't see my husband. He's never around. He's always working. He's always on the go, leaving the house, going out there, tending to that, and leaving the garden unkept, which is his wife, his first love. Tend and keep it. Look, if Abba gives you a physical wife, are you to tend and to keep her? Yeah. So don't you see? It's an outward show of something that you're doing internally. So there's a husband and a wife internally, and that's what the grandson's asking you about. How are their relationship? How are they getting along in there? What kind of children do they have? Do they have children? Are they producing any fruit? Because Abba said, be fruitful and multiply. He made marriage so that he can make the two one flesh, so that out of them he could get a godly seed. Isn't that what the scripture says? So then so it is with you, and that's why I'm asking you about it. It is better to dwell on the corner of a rooftop than in the house with a contentious woman. What does that mean? Well, people off themselves at times, saying they just can't take it. So whatever's going on inside of their body is so tumultuous and so contentious that they'd rather dwell in the corner of a rooftop than to dwell in their own body. You understand what I'm saying to you today? So how does that demonstrate itself in the 3D for us? A man and a woman are living at home. They're married, but they get into a big-ass argument. The woman just keeps on going and going and going and not reasoning with her husband, not submitting to her husband, not calming down. And she just wants to argue. She just wants to fight. And she's just being bitter, angry. She just doesn't give a damn. So he's just going. A nagging and contentious wife. It is better for me to go dwell on the corner of a rooftop. That's what happens when your wife becomes carnal. That's what happens when your feelings, in other words, become carnal. Because they're receiving thoughts that are carnal and they're accepting them. And so the husband is vexed by that because those thoughts don't come from him. If you're the right thought of the house or the strong man of the house, then if your woman is coming to you with all kinds of cares and worries that you told her not to care about, she's a wicked and adulterous woman. Same thing with Yahusha. You are married to him. So then you must do what he told you to do when you face a circumstance. You can't do what somebody else told you to do, because then you become wicked and adulterous. Isn't it true? If you have a husband and he advises you, but yet you don't take his advice and you do something else, then that means you received some idea from some other source that wasn't your husband. Correct? Well, the deeper understanding of that is, when a man lays with a woman, she receives his seed and then gives him a result. Well, if she gives him a result and it's not his child, they take a DNA test and it's not his child, how will he feel? So do you guys understand what I'm telling you today? That's how Abba feels when you don't take his advice and you produce a result that's not in accordance with what he said, which is a godly offspring. You didn't bring a godly offspring because you were fear. You were in fear when you did it. You were afraid when you did it. You were doubtful when you did it. You were faithless when you did it, or you did it seeking it by the work of your hands. You sought having a child by the work of your hands. I'll give you guys an example of what I mean. Sarah was barren for a long time, and she couldn't have any children. But Abba told her, you shall have a son. And she laughed. Why do you think she laughed, guys? Isn't it obvious why she laughed? Because to the senses and to the physical mind, see, it seemed impossible. But through the spirit, all things are possible. So if you seek what you desire by faith, then anything shall be yours. That's what Yahushua was saying to you. See how I'm saying everything the husband said? So then if I'm saying everything the husband said, then what does that mean that I am? I'm in his bosom. Where does a wife reside? When you see a man and you say, that's the one in whom he loves, who are you talking about? You're talking about his wife. So when you read the scriptures and you see that there was one in the bosom of Yahusha, then what do you think that means? Now, that doesn't mean anything if we can't prove that this man resides in the spirit, this one that's in his bosom. Well, when you read Revelation and he begins to tell you what he received on the island of Patmos, what does he say first? I, John, was on the island of Patmos, and I was in the spirit on the Lord's day. Kapiki pow. Foot sweeping everybody that don't know anything. See, that's the beauty of being connected to the husband. He knows everything. So if you're his wife, then he's going to reveal everything that he knows to you because you are one. You are no longer two. And that's the problem with most people. They're not married to Christ. They have an independent mindset, though they say they're married. Well, that's not being married. You're not independent if you're married. But what does the world keep feeding you all? A woman that's independent. A woman that doesn't need a man. A woman that's got her own. Correct? That's what you guys have all been hearing in your life. It's being pushed to you more and more and more. Why? To separate you into two. When you're actually one. The man and the woman are one. That's how come you can't have a child unless you put them together. Y'all think y'all slick because, well, we have devised a way to artificially inseminate a woman where she doesn't even need a man. Where'd you get the sperm that you're going to inseminate her with? Look at the Neanderthal, y'all. Here he comes. We got it from a man. So then you still need them both, don't you? Yeah, I know. Neanderthal time. Neanderthal time means carnal-minded time. That's what it means. That's literally what it means. Carnal-minded time. Here they go trying to rationale with the carnal mind. It's enmity with God. Your thoughts is not as high as his thoughts. That's what he said. So then, if you're carnally minded, your thoughts are low. You have low thoughts. Even though you may think they're exalted, you may think you're wise. Thinking themselves wise, they became fools. Where I get that from? The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Where I get that from? But look how men think about the wisdom of this world. Look how they are. They really feel really good. Let me get into that other guy mode. That guy that's like, hey, that guy. They really think they're really good when they have a degree from Berkeley or some shit, Yale or Harvard, on the wall with their name on it behind their head when they're talking to you. And when you look at it and see that degree on the wall, you start to feel impressed of this man who's standing in front of that plaque. You're like, wow, he has a degree from Harvard? That must mean he's really smart. Look how you judge. So what if I took a fake ass Harvard degree that I made in a damn computer somewhere and got printed at Kinko's, put that shit up in a frame and hung it on my wall and started to put an ascot on and everything and stand before you guys and go, yes, hi, my name's Baxter Sullivan and I graduated summa cum laude from Harvard University Law, as you can see here. And I'm the baddest motherfucker in the world when it comes to wisdom and understanding concerning things, since I have that plaque there, can't you see? And then you're all like, wow, yeah, I could never do what that guy did. He must be smarter than me. And all it is some shit I made up. I just tricked you. That's what the devil does. He deceives you with outward appearance. Do you hear it, little flock? The woman said, you deceived me. The woman is your feelings. Wow, he sure is smart and everything. But the man part of your body is not deceived. He's looking at that nigga like, that nigga don't know shit about nothing. His wisdom is vain. None of that shit he's saying is profitable to me. But look at him, honey. Doesn't he look smart? He has on an ascot and everything. So that means that he's something because he put on a cloth? This nigga took some fabric, folded it a certain way, and put it inside of his jacket, and now he's somehow intelligent? Well, then let me get my fabric. Hold on, guys. Let me get me some shit here and put my damn ascot up in my shit here, since that's what you guys think makes a nigga intelligente and everything. Now what do you think of me? What do y'all think of me now, little flock? Am I smart looking? Do I look intelligent or what? What would you say? See how silly it all is? But that's what you do when you want to fool human beings. Look, guys. See my ascot? I'm rich then, aren't I? Oh, wow. Yeah, you must be. You're wearing an ascot. That's how easy it is to trick a nigga when he's in the carnal mind. So the carnal mind is enmity against the truth, isn't it? If that's all it takes to fool you, I'd say, yeah. Put on a hat on your head when you go to preach with a cross on it. Put a long robe on with an embroidery of some doves going down the side. Now watch when you go up there. Whoa, look at this guy. I mean, you literally see people that are so-called preachers of the gospel and followers of Christ. You see them get all dressed and decked out first before they present themselves before men. This preacher, this rabbi, this man of God, this dude, that dude. The man has on a thing on his head with crosses and everything. You guys remember the guy that got his eye jacked up? Mari, whatever his name is, that guy that got attacked and the dude tried to stab him and cut his eye and everything. He had to come with a bandage on his eye and everything. That guy, what is he holding in his hand when he's preaching? When that guy comes with the thing and cuts his eye, what is he holding? He's holding some type of crucifix with so-called Jesus Christ on it. That's an idol he's holding in his hand. But he's holding it while saying he professes Christ. And then the people are all, oh my God, what has the world come to when even a man of God is attacked this way? Oh, what a horrible event. Please pray for that brother. Pray for that man of God there, that he recover and that the doctors have the strength and the knowledge to know what to do to heal this man of God. He has a idol in his hand. He also has some shit on his head that's specifically designed in some type of way to appear to look holy in front of men. Crosses and embroiderment all down on the back of the headdress and everything he's got on his head. He also has on a long robe, doesn't he? And a chain about his neck with a cross and everything hanging on it. And on his robe, he has crosses and symbols all on his robe and everything, doesn't he? What does the scripture say? What does Yahusha, the man he say he loves, what does Yahusha say about that? They do all that they do to be seen of men. They love robes. They love to increase the borders of their garment. You see, that's about their clothes. They're focused on their clothes. That's what I was just telling you when I said they focus on that before they present themselves before you. They want to look a certain way before men. If they knew God and if they knew the truth of how God judges and they knew judgment, then they wouldn't decorate themselves. They wouldn't deck themselves before they present themselves before you. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't care how they appear. They wouldn't care if you care how they appear. They wouldn't care because God doesn't, and they know God's judgment. And so they've learned not to judge that way anymore. So when they can tell when men are judging that way when they present themselves that way. I'm not looking right. I don't look the part, so nobody's going to believe me that I am. Think about that right there, because all of us have been there. All like sheep have gone astray. So think about what I'm telling you right there, little flock. You are in this mindset when you're in the carnal mind. You're in this mindset that if you don't look the part, then even if you are the part, you still aren't. That's the mindset that you're in. You could be the most talented person in your field. But if you don't feel as though you have the things necessary or look the way that you should look when you go to do the job, then you don't feel like you're going to be received. Isn't it true? Why do you think lawyers wear the suits that they wear? Why do you think they drive the Mercedes Benz that they drive? Why do you think? So their clients can look at them and feel as though he's a qualified lawyer. Look at the things that he has acquired. He must be successful. See? So that's the guy I should trust. See? Isn't it true? Isn't it? So the world you live in, judging that way. Well, as long as you're judging that way, your wife is neglected. Because you're focused on the outward appearance. So your wife is neglected. So then there are signs that prove this. Like I told you guys, they're all around you. But once you know the truth, you don't need the sign. That's the sign of their sin. Now, when you see the proof of it, in other words, what do I mean? I said the wife is neglected when you're focused on outward appearance. So this is what I'm describing. Let's use the Israelite woman as an example. Israelite women, naturally their hair grows woolly and upward in a tightly curled pattern, like I told you. That's the way her hair naturally grows. And some don't have tight curls. They may be loose curls. They may be big curls, small curls. But it's all the same Negroid type of hair, you see? So if she focuses on what the world says is good, listen to me and it's going to make perfect sense. You ain't going to be able to deny it. If she focuses on what the world says is good, she will neglect her own garden. Now read the Song of Solomon. I am black. This is why I'm using this woman as an example. But I am comely. I have neglected my own vineyard because I've been laboring out there. So don't look upon me. So then what is the Israelite woman doing? Her natural characteristics, she is hiding them, saying, don't look upon me. I am black, but I am comely. But look not upon me. So she covers her natural hair, she straightens it, or she puts a weave on. That is considered acceptable. She literally believes her natural hair is unacceptable. See it? So she neglects her natural state to take on the form of some other idea that has been given to her by carnally minded people that focus on outward appearance. It tells you what beauty is and the standard of beauty is. The standard of beauty is not based on outward appearance. Abba told you this, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in which in the sight of Abba, a quiet, meek spirit is of great price. But nobody wants to hear that. They don't want to hear the truth. So who can find a virtuous woman? Not many. That's why the question is being posed. Because feelings are all enamored by what they see. So that's what I'm asking you. What's going on in your house? The woman in your house, is she so enamored by other men outside of the house that all she focuses on is what's on the internet and scrolling through, dreaming about what life could be like if she just wasn't in this house with you? And you're so neglectful chasing your work that you're out there working and laboring, thinking that that's going to make people think you're something, that you focus more on that than your garden at home. You're even telling her wrong thoughts by saying, yeah, girl, put that weave on. Yeah, go ahead and get the BBL. I'll even pay for it. Go ahead and do this. Go ahead on and do that. Go ahead and do this to change your natural state that I'm neglecting. Instead of going into the garden that's been neglected, and what do you have to do when you go in there? You have to take up all kinds of weeds, uproot, take things out that don't belong, and you have to tend to it and keep it. Your wife, that is. See it? You see it? And keep her from being deceived by the 3D world. That's the labor that is valuable. You see that? That's the labor that's valuable. Out of all the things Adam was doing, I think it would have been wise for him to actually make sure that his wife wasn't deceived by that serpent. Don't you think so? What would you guys say? Everything is lawful for me, but everything is not expedient. You hear the husband talking to the wife? Baby, I understand you want to do this and you want to do that, and that looks fun and that looks safe, but it may not be. That's the husband. I'm not tricked. This party is full of a bunch of fucking creeps that are lying in wait for somebody that they can catch slipping, that they can do something to. So no, you can't go. But all the girls are going. But how come I can't go? I never get to do anything that I want to do. You're such a tyrant. You're such a this. You're such a that. Sometimes you just got to be willing to take that, man, and say, that's not true. I'm none of those things. And you'll understand that by and by, but maybe you don't understand today. But you'll see. So the answer remains no. I don't know why he's doing that. Well, he's keeping you safe from that serpent. So that's what you're doing inside of your body, hopefully, right? When your brain is going, I want that. It looks so cool to have it. Is your right thought stepping in and saying, but it's not good. It looks good, but it isn't. So then who are you going to listen to, baby? Them that's telling you it's good, or me that tells you it's not good? I want the BBL. It's going to make me be so much more happy. Happiness doesn't come from without. It comes from within. So nothing that you do on the outside of your body will make you happy. You have to clean the inside of the cup, and then the outside should be clean also. But you must clean the inside, baby. You can't just go neglecting what's going on inside, the lack that's going on in there, that make you feel like you need that. That's what we need to address. You see it? That brokenness that makes you think you need that to be somebody. Only people that are going to see, only things that are going to see that BBL are people. And their judgment is not valid. So then why do you need their judgment to think you're good if it's not even valid when they say you're good? They say the evil is good. The BBL is evil. But when you get it, they're going to say you're good for getting it. Do you see it, baby? Don't be tricked. Don't be stupid. Isn't that stupid to live like that? Are you a fool or are you a wise woman? Which one are you? That's what's been neglected in the world. Tender keeping. That's what's been neglected. To the children and to the woman is tender keeping. When the man doesn't do that, then all hell breaks loose, as you saw in the garden. You think you're justified by saying you're not deceived and that's enough. No, keep your wife. Protect her when she doesn't even know that she's being protected. See? So in other words, tell yourself no when you think you're going to get something good, or you feel that you're going to get something good. The right thought should come in and abstain from fleshly lusts that are to perish. See, they're going to fade away. It's just a moment. So I'm not deceived by no moment. I want everlasting things. I want things that last forever. And love lasts forever. Truth lasts forever. That's what I want. I have to lie in order to get a momentary gratification outside of the house. That's what men and women do when they cheat. They lie. They don't cheat and tell the truth. That's like a person sitting in class, cheating on the test, and he's got a little answer sheet off to the side with the answers his friend gave him from 4th hour. He's in 5th hour. The other kid already took the class and gave him the answers. So now he's writing them down on his Scantron. He's coloring them in and everything with his number 2 pencil and shit. Y'all remember that shit? The little Scantron with the number 2 pencil. And he's coloring it in and everything. And then the teacher says, what are you doing over there? And he goes, oh, I'm just cheating on the test. Everything's going to be all right. The teacher's going to say, oh, I was just making sure. He's going to lie. That comes with cheating. So then That's what I'm describing to you that's going on in your house. You have to lie in order to do something you know isn't right. So the man was not deceived, but the woman was. Can't you see it? The man know when he doing something wrong. In other words, your thoughts know. Your mind knows. R. Kelly even wrote a song. I keep telling you guys about it. My mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. Isn't that what he said? Mind, spirit, woman, flesh, body, man, heaven, woman, earth, man, spirit, woman, flesh. That's why he said that when he saw her. Are you guys not paying attention? Who had the breath of life breathed into them? The woman or the man? So your body doesn't have the spirit. It's your mind is where the spirit resides, in heaven. Correct, little flock. That's why Yahusha ascended. He first descended and came down to the body. He came down to the earth from heaven. And he said that, I am the bread that has come from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live eternal life. That's what he said. And now I go back to my Father from whence I have come. If you've seen me descend, if I have ascended, I had to have first descended. So now I go back to the Father. And now they saw him ascend to the right hand of the Father. Do you guys hear what I'm saying to you? Spirit. Do y'all get it? Now, Son of Man, there's faith, hope, and love. These three remain. Faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. The greatest of these is the Son of Man. The Son is love. It is the result of the faith and the hope that you have. It is the result of it. The faith is the strong man of the house. It is the husband of the house. If the strong man be bound, then you can break up the house. You see, if you take the faith and you bind it in a person to where they don't have faith, then that you can destroy his whole life. You see it? So faith is the husband of the house. Hope is the wife of the house. The feelings. If it just could be. That's the wife. The feelings of the house. And when you put them together, you get love. The Son. See it? The Son of Man. Love. Made in the image of his Father. God is love. Skeet and deedly, can you understand me? 'Cause I make that shit clear, so crystal clearly. Right, little flock? Simple and easy like to understand if you ask me. That's the family that I'm concerned with there. Faith, hope, and love. Are you producing a godly offspring? That's what the Bible says. See, I'm connecting it. Love is the result. Godly offspring. God is love. A loving offspring, little flock. See? A child in the image of love. Not in the image of fear. When you do something like you cheat, you're fearful when you do it and you lie. Your father is a liar. So when you lie, who's your father? You got that idea from the carnal mind. Isn't it obvious? So you received the thought that came from the carnal mind, the serpent that deceives you and tricks you by outward appearance. She looked and saw the fruit and thought that it was good to make one wise. She looked and saw it. That's why it says that. It was pleasant to the eyes. Do you read that? That's what everything is that gets you. It doesn't matter if it's an apple, guys. It's not what it's talking about. It's talking about when a man is walking around and he looks at a beautiful woman and goes, she has become desirable and sought after. And if he needs to take a bite out of it now, in other words, he needs to become one with it, to experience it. That's what happens in his mind and his heart. You see it? But now, it may not be expedient for you. She may be married to another person. So now that's forbidden. What are you going to do? Take part and eat of it and die? And when you do eat of it, if you do, when you do, your mind knew that you shouldn't have. And that's why you lie. The mind knows you're lying, and so it tries to figure a way to deceive itself. That's called the feelings. It listens to the feelings. Do the woman run the house? The scripture says, let the woman be subject to her own husband, as unto the Lord. How many women treat their husband as if their husband is Christ? Your husband is the sign of where you are inside of yourself. What am I saying? Who is leading you in your mind is manifested by the husband that you have. So if you have a snake, serpent thought in your head leading you, and you're being deceived constantly, that's the husband you've got, a deceiver. And then you get mad at him and blame him when it all came out of your heart. The issues of life come forth from your heart. The heart is desperately wicked, so keep watch over it. See? That's why I'm asking you guys what's going on in there. In the house, which is your heart, which is where the man and the wife are. That's why I'm focusing your mind to it. Can't you see it? Because the issues of life come out of there. But what do we do when the issue appears? We blame. It's their fault. It's not. It's yours. That's a sign. But look how the wicked and adulterous generation, see how you're adulterous and wicked? They seek after that. They look for that to place the blame. That's the reason why. No, that's the symptom. The cause is within. That's the reason why. Now, do you want to deal with that? Can't be. That can't be true. You're in hell. I see that right now. With weeping and gnashing of teeth is. That's why you always so mad. And that's why you always so sad. You see that? That's why I'm always so glad. Because I don't reside there. I come from above, from the spiritual mind. Can't you guys see that? I'm not of this world. If I were, I'd talk like it, I'd look like it, and be like it. How does it talk? It lies. It uses deception. It uses doublespeak. That's the distinct difference between the two worlds and how they talk. My side speaks truth. Their side speaks lies and trickery and deceit and guile. We don't have guile in our mouth over here. Read your Bible. How they dress. Well, they dress to impress people by outward appearance. They like to get expensive jewelry and put it on, and expensive name brand clothing to put on, so that men think that they're good, or men think something high of them. What about me? What do you see me dressed like? The same garments that you always see me in? Plain and simple and sufficient to cover my body and my nakedness? That's what you see. So then you see that there's a difference then, isn't there? Do you see me with a bunch of gaudy, expensive jewelry, a big, thick-ass chain with diamonds every damn where, shining and glistening, blinding you and shit? That what you see? You see grills and shining shit all over my teeth and everything? That what you see? No, you don't. So there's a difference then, isn't there? Do you see me wearing a long robe with embroidery going down the side of the shit? Do you see me with a certain headdress on with certain symbols that make you think that I'm holy? Do you see anything outwardly that makes me appear to be a righteous, holy man? No, you don't. I appear as a plain man, dwelling in my tent who minds his own business, don't I? Yes. Isn't that what a perfect man is in this world? So you see how Noah was perfect in his generations? So shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. Who is the Son of Man? I told you what the Son of Man is. I've made it totally clear. So then there's no distinction between what's right and what's wrong anymore. Not when the Son of Man has talked to you. That's the proof of the Son of Man. The light. Yahushua said, I am the light of the world. So that's how you know. When you can't understand something and then it becomes illuminated, it's a light that did that. So if you didn't understand something in the scripture, and yet when you come here to the school of marvelous what? Light. And then you get illuminated, then what does that mean? All right then, little flockulators. That's just that simple. So I'm turning the light on the inside of your body so that you can see what's going on in there, because that's all that matters. Remember, he said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I shall now call you woman, for you were taken out of man. Isn't that what he said? So there's a womb in man. That's why she's called woman, womb man, man with a womb, the womb of man. That's what it literally means, the womb of man. There's a womb inside of him, and I described it to you guys in my video yesterday. It's called the kingdom of heaven. The womb in there is the garden that God gave him to keep and to tend. It's his womb within himself, and that's called the Garden of Eden. But when he's not tending and keeping to the place inside of him, he's kicked out of there, and he becomes carnally minded out here in the 3D and becomes a man of the field, like Esau is called, and a hunter, which means he's trying to get people's attention on him. He's hunting men. Hey guys, look at me. And more people you can get looking at you means that you've done a greater work. That's what this world says, because that's what the world is all about. So followers, if you have 200, then you're just nothing. If you have 200 million, now you're worth some shit in this world. See? When people meet each other, they're like, let me see your Instagram. The person's like, my Instagram so-and-so. Oh my God, look at your following. Geez, you have 1 million subscribers on Instagram? Man, let me hang out with you today. See how stupid it is? How do you know he didn't buy those subscribers? How do you know that's not fake? Well, you don't. He deceived your ass. He only got 2 subscribers, really. But he inflated them and paid to make it look like it was more. People do that. Don't you know that? If you're having an event and no one really knows about it, but yet you're trying to make it look like it's a big, huge event so you can broadcast that and make people want to come, you'll pay people to come. You'll pay celebrities to make a cameo there and make an appearance. You will actually pay them. Hey, I'll pay you $20,000 to show up to this pool party I'm throwing so people will see you're there and then will come and take a picture with me too. Chris Brown is taking pictures with people and he's charging them over $1,000 to take a picture with him. Why do you want a picture with him and you're willing to pay so much money? You're not even willing to pay $1,000 to your brother or your sister of your own relative to take a picture with them. You'll do it with them for free. But you'll pay Chris Brown to take a picture with him so that you can do what? Show it to people so that they can think what of you? That you had a great experience. That you did something that they want to do. It's desirable what I've done, isn't it? Look at the foolishness of it. You paid that nigga. What does Abba say about you when you do that? You are a contrary whore. That's what he said. I'm not trying to be funny. That's what he called it. You're a contrary whore. A whore gets paid to have sex, man. She don't pay her lover to have sex with her. Could you imagine that? A woman laid up in a motel, got guys on rotation coming in there taking their turns. But yet when they come in there to take their turn, she puts $200 in their hand. All right, it's your turn. Come on, come get it. This nigga's like, I'm getting paid to have sex with you? Shit, come on with it then. And he goes telling his friends, come on, man, you can get $200 today. Go down there to number 8 hotel down there. The door, knock on it 6 times, and then the door's going to open. You go in there, and money's going to get handed in your hand. You can do whatever you want to do. That's called a contrary whore. You're a weird-ass whore. That's what Abba called his people, because that's what you were doing. You pay people to pilfer you. You pay them to screw you with no Vaseline, bend you over, and get to ramming. You pay them to do it. And you see people actually do it in this world. I told you. You have people that go and get a prostitute to beat his ass, humiliate him, stomp on his nuts, and kick him all in the balls and be what they call a dominatrix to him. He will pay her $500 to call him a little bitch and kick him in his nutsack. See? Contrary, backward, strange ass world, ain't it? Yeah. That's what happens when you're carnally minded. It's only going to feed you wrong thoughts, guys. The carnal mind is death. It's only going to steal, kill, and destroy from who you are, your dignity. That's why they do it in secret. That politician that's going and getting involved with child trafficking and every damn thing, and going to the brothel with the little girls and everything, having his way. He does not invite the media to follow him like he does when he goes to go give out a turkey on Thanksgiving. When this nigga goes to give Christmas gifts to the neighborhood kids on Christmas, the truck pulls up with the gifts and everything all in it and everything. He's standing there. He makes sure the news media and everything's there to film him as he's handing the kid to little Charlie there, patting Charlie on the head. There's a photo op happening at the same damn time. But when he goes to that brothel, how come there's no photo op? How come there's no media allowed? How come you turn your phone off and your location and everything, and your job doesn't even know where you're at for that hour or two? How come you hit the do not disturb on your shit? How come? Because your body is telling you yes, but your mind is telling you no. That's why. You're proving it. You're proving it. They don't come to the light so that their deeds are not reproved. See? That's why you don't want no media. You don't want to be seen what you're doing. So then that obviously means you know what you're doing isn't right. So then how can you stand before God and tell him anything other than that? Even though he saw you when you snuck. Because he sees in the secret place. I'm telling you, it's very funny when you look at these niggas think they're getting away with something. How can you get away from someone who sees from your own eyes? You're wondering about something, a camera lens or something, shooting the camera out. God's camera is right in here. It's inside of that dome skeleton of yours, looking right at your heart. Let me turn my phone off so that my location doesn't show up, and then I'm going to go to my side piece's house and have sex with her, and then afterward I'll turn my phone back on and say I was at the gym. That's what I'll tell my wife. I was at the gym working out so hard and didn't even know my phone was ringing. I didn't see it. I was so in the zone. That's what I'll tell my wife. And then yeah, let's put that plan into play. And then wait a second. Then but what about the meeting I said I was going to have? Well, I'll tell them I fell sick. Yeah, I'll call them and tell them that I fell sick and I can't do the meeting today. And then you hear all of this shit. Look at all this formulating and planning so that you can fulfill the lust of your flesh. So you can give your wife what she want. Well, what kind of wife you got that making you do all that to give you what she want? I thought you had a wife that you was talking about, let me turn my location off so she don't know where I'm at. So you're hiding from her? Well, who's this other wife you talking to trying to give her desire? Gotta be Jezebel, Isabel. Gotta be Isabel. You see it? Gotta be. And I'm sorry, but if you make Isabel your woman, you got to understand, she's for the streets. That's everybody's woman. She's the kind of woman that gets caught on outward appearance. So if you happen to be the guy of the hour, which means when you walked in, you had all the attention, you were the leader, you were the tip of the spear in the room, she's going to come to you. And if you happen, for whatever reason, to be in a situation where there's another man who supersedes you, outward appearance, he supersedes you, she is going to gravitate to him. Because it's not men and a man she's looking for, it's power she wants. What did Eve do? She saw that it was desirable to make one wise. I don't know if you guys can even hear that. Wisdom is power, guys. Ask Solomon. The principal thing is wisdom. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. He knows that it's about getting. The carnal mind is about getting. That's why the carnal mind is named Cain, which means to acquire, to get. So when you're in the carnal mind, all your mind is set on is acquiring vain things. That's all it can do. Acquire vainglory, acquire lust of the flesh, acquire more blood, acquire more red, acquire more things. That's all it can do. You understand that? It's a bottomless pit that can never be filled. So then there's no need in thinking you can fill it. But when you're in the carnal mind, you think you can. This is what's going to satisfy me. And then you do it. It does for a second, then it fades. This will satisfy me. And it does for a second, it fades. This will satisfy me. It does in a second, it fades. That's that woman looking for what she thinks power is. Eating and then eating and then eating and then eating and eating and eating and dying and dying and dying and dying. Eating, dying, eating, dying, eating, dying, eating, dying, eating, dying. Promiscuous woman. that drinks from every cistern, that opens her quiver to every arrow. These are all scriptures. That kind of woman, the Bible says, shall be accounted as a dog. Do y'all understand what that means? A female dog is called a bitch. What do we say about wicked women? See the sign matching up? You be like, you bitch, damn. See, that's why. Because the Bible said it. Y'all just too dumb to be pure-minded. And so all things will be pure to you once you're pure. That's the way it works. It didn't say to the pure, some things are pure. It says all things are. We look for the purity in everything that we look at. In other words, we look for the good in everything that we look at. When we meet a person, we focus on the good that's there. We don't focus on the negative. And what's the good that's there? The spirit. So when I talk to you, what do I focus on? The internal spiritual side of your life, not the carnal side. I am not giving you advice as to how to stack up treasures and riches in this world, am I? I don't have any advice on that. I don't have any advice to tell you how to acquire more nice clothes for yourself. I don't have any advice on that. I don't have any advice to tell you how to garner attention of this world and get many subscribers. I don't have any information to tell you how to do that. They do. That's why their videos, when you click on it, they're telling you to. The little subscribe thing comes on. Do you hear the little click sound? Like, subscribe, comment. And the niggas be like, before we get to this message, I need you to like, subscribe, and comment. You see niggas on live, they be like, I'm not even going to start the live until I have 500 likes. There's 1,000 people in here. I need 500 likes. Shit, that's what I need. Why do you need it? If what you have is valuable, why do you need the likes to confirm that it's valuable? You need a sign, see, to confirm that what you're doing is valuable. But the wicked and adulterous are seeking a sign. So you need likes. You need subscribers to make yourself feel good, to make yourself feel as though you're something. Because all men focus on is how things look. That's all they focus on. They do all that they do to be seen of men, not to be seen of God. If you did all that you did to be seen of God, then what would you do? What does God judge? Well, grandson, we know you've yelled it even to us. You've told us 1,000,000 times it's God judges the heart. So then, if you were focused on what God's looking at, what would you do? I know. We need a Neanderthal male. I told you guys, put the name of that nigga in the comments. Y'all got some ideas for some names we can call these Neanderthals? Then put them down there in the comment, because it's a male and a female Neanderthal. They both need names. So help me out, guys. Give me some ideas of what we can call them. Because as soon as they start talking, we know that they're in here. We be like, there you go. But we need a name for these guys. Okay, little flock? So put the comment down there and give me some ideas, so that we can all agree on what their names are when they come showing their ugly ass face. You hear me? So that's it, little flock. Focus on your internal world and what's going on in there. What kind of thoughts are you accepting? Right thoughts? Does it come from the spiritual mind? Well, how do you know they're right? Because they produce life and peace. How do you know that they're wrong? Because they produce death. What is death? Sneaking, hiding, deceiving, trickery. Oh, you like that word, trickery? Trying to get over on a nigga. That's called trickery. Y'all hear it, little flock? Those things are death. They only produce death. That's why when people cheat and they sneak and lie, when the person that they lied to finds out they lied, it's a chance they might die. There's a chance somebody might get killed. Correct? I've seen it myself. I've seen video where a woman was in a house cheating on her husband. She's in the bed having sex with another man. She's completely naked and everything. He had a hidden camera set up in their bedroom. She didn't know it. Shit had night vision on it. So they had the lights off, but he could still see them bright as day. So he's looking at the video while he's at work. Well, he sees the video of her having sex with the other man. He comes on home. He walks into the house, and of course, the video is still rolling, so you can see him now. He busts into the bedroom with a knife in his hand, and the man that's on top of his wife jumps up, and he stabs that man in his arm, and the man kind of pushes him off, and they wrestle for a second. He's trying to stab him. Well, he gets past him, and he gets out of the house, and he runs out the house. And then the woman is on the bed. His wife is on the bed. The man chases the man out of the room. She's on the bed trying to cover herself with the blanket and everything, screaming at her husband, "No, stop, stop." Well, they're in the hallway scrapping. I guess the guy must have ran out of the house or something, because the husband comes back into the bedroom. And when he comes back into the bedroom, he still has that knife in his hand. And do you know what he does to that woman? He got to slicing and dicing. And I mean, boy, he got to slicing and dicing until that woman was laying in a pool of blood, DEAD. He viciously attacked her in a fit of rage, blind by wrath. So then death came because someone sought to fulfill their lusts. The carnal mind, correct? It's not even hard to understand, little flock. And that's just one example. But you guys know that there are many, 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 many examples to prove this point that I'm giving to you. You see that, little flock? People have killed each other over pride. So-called friends. I saw a man, he had a friend. See, he so-called his brother. He said they were so close that they were brothers. And they fell out over a female, and one of them killed the guy, killed his so-called brother, his friend. He shot him. The guy confronted him over the girl. They got to fighting, and the other guy was getting the best of him, so he pulled out a gun and shot him. His own brother, he called him, his own friend. He shot him. He didn't shed a tear after the fact. After he shot him and he fell, he stood over him and executed him. Shot him in his head while he was on the ground. Why? Lust. The carnal mind. Spiritual is life and peace. Which one will you choose, life or death? Because I'm proving to you that the left-hand side produces death after death after death after death after death. And it goes across the board. What are the other 7 deadly sins? Gluttony. How many people have eaten themselves into an early grave? How many? Right here in Babylon, how many people are considered obese? What is the most obese nation in the world? Why? Because they're carnal. Babylonians are carnally minded people that only seek to fulfill their flesh. That's why it's represented by a woman saying, with a whore, see, by a whore with a cup in her hand full of abominations that she causes people to drink from and gets them drunk with the wine of fornicating. So which wife do you have? Better check your house, little flock, and kick that bitch Isabel up out of there if she's in there trying to sit up on a throne of many waters. You better kick her ass up out of there. You see it, little flock? So y'all be blessed today and receive those spiritual nuggets of wisdom that I got for you. And if you need some extra sweet and sour sauce, just let me know, and I'll give you some. I ain't like McDonald's. They only gonna give you 2. I'll give you however many you need to suffice all them nuggets that I gave you. You hear me, little flock? So y'all be blessed today. Salawam, Israel.